Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of my video guides. Today I'll be running through how to backdoor a few dungeons in Skyrim. A lot of dungeons in the game are locked by quests, such as this one, Veil Sanctum, locked by a quest about halfway through the Thieves Guild questline. Inside is the Disarm Shout, which is you're unable to max out the shout without doing this dungeon. Now if we go down here a little bit to the north, we'll find the back door to the dungeon. So we can go inside here. But we're met with a locked portcullis with no way to open it. So what we're going to do here is a little trick I call bucketing. You might have seen it elsewhere on the internet. So what you have to do is drop a bucket, or it works with some other objects as well, but I find buckets work best. Grab it, press it against a preferably flat wall, this might take a few tries, and sprint into it or whirlwind sprint into it. Now what I've done here is I've just managed to glitch through the wall and outside of the game area. This reset me about part way through the area, so now I'm going to fight my way back through the dungeon. For the purposes of this video, I'll be using God Mode. This is an exercise-ish character combat. So there's the disarm word wall right ahead of us, so we'll go and grab that. But now we have to get out of the dungeon. The front door's locked from both sides and can only be opened by a key, so we'll have to go back out the other way. Just be warned that some Thieves Guild spoilers will follow. Normally, this door's opened by Mercer Frey, and there's no claw to open it normally. So we'll drop another bucket and try and whirlwind sprint through the door. This doesn't work on the first try, so we'll go grab the bucket again and try somewhere else. We should be able to glitch through this flat wall up here. Now you'll be shot by Carlia's arrow. And so what we'll need to do here is wait a couple of days for the plot characters to turn up. I find 3 days usually works. Make sure you only start waiting once you hit the ground. It sometimes does take a while for Carlia to rescue you from your predicament, but you should be able to just wait for an hour and she'll teleport you out of the area. Be warned that this may break the Thieves Guild questline. I haven't tested it myself, but if you're going to the effort to backdoor into this dungeon, you probably won't be doing the Thieves Guild questline in the first place. So after a bit of exposition from Carlia, you're free to go. With your new disarm shout. So next up, we'll be taking a look at Labyrinthian, the dungeon from the last College of Winterhold quest. I whirlwind sprinted onto this ledge here by climbing along the mountain to the right, and from here you can get to the trapdoor at the end of the dungeon. Once again, we find ourselves in a room with no normal way out, but we'll drop a bucket and get straight through this door. now. I get stuck between the door and the door bar. You can just open the bar and then open the door. Fortunately, we don't have to bucket through this portcullis, as you can just, if you carefully position yourself, you can just pull the lever and walk straight through. This door's use the same method to get through it as the first door in the dungeon. And you'll find yourself in the back of the room where Mordecai is. Now, since we're after the slow time shout here, well, I am anyway, we're gonna have to backtrack a little bit. Normally the second portcullis in this room is open, but because we're not on the actual quest, it isn't open for us, so we'll have to bucket through again. This area is a bit more difficult because there's no flat walls, and portcullises I usually am unable to get through. I eventually managed to get through on this door, or wall rather, and find myself outside the area of the dungeon. After a bit of jumping around, I managed to get myself back into the normal playable area on the other side of the portcullis we needed to get past. You've probably noticed by now that from the outside you can get through doors just fine, like if you're outside the playable area. So now we've got the slow time shout, so we'll need to get back through. I use the flat wall closest to the portcullis, and now I can just jump straight back into the area. If you think you're up for it, while you're here you can even take down Mordecai, taking the Staff of Magnus and his mask. Once again, I'm unsure if this breaks the questline. After you're finished with him, you can just escape straight back through the way you came in. Now the last dungeon I'll be looking at in this guide is Korvanjund, the dungeon from the first Civil War quest. Before the quest is started, it'll be inhabited by a few bandits. So once you're inside, you'll be met by the normal interior, except for a lot of rubble blocking your path forward. You should probably make a hard save here, because you can get stuck permanently in this dungeon if you're unable to bucket out. Eventually I managed to bucket backwards through the door and reset just on the other side of the rubble. From here you can just run straight through the dungeon normally, except for there's no Stormcloaks and Imperials blocking your path. The claw required to open the puzzle door is sitting on the ground just in front of it. After you defeat the boss Draugr, you can take the Jagged Crown, which doesn't count as a quest item. But doing this will break the Civil War quest line, and you won't be able to complete the Jagged Crown quest, and thus won't be able to finish it. And we even get the slow time word wall at the end. Getting back out of this dungeon is a little bit trickier than the other ones. Because when we're bucketing, we have to get back to a specific spot. Because we can't simply walk back in the way we came since we went in the front door, and there's the rubble blocking the front door. So what you'll need to do is drop a bucket, and you will specifically need Whirlwind Sprint for this one. You'll need to Whirlwind Sprint through one of these two walls on either side of the rubble, which will blast you back into the first area. Well, thanks for watching my guide, and I hope this helps you in your quest-breaking adventures in Skyrim.